God be with you. Today is the 11th of December and we are in the Advent season, the second week of Advent. The theme joy is at our background. In that light, I would like to read from chapter 1, verse 12 following. As I said yesterday, the book of Habakkuk is a unique book. It has the format of the prophet asking a question and God answering. It's good to ask questions to our friends and relatives. It's good to ask questions our pastors and teachers. And above all, if we have not understood anything, or if we are faced with a difficult situation, there is nothing wrong going to God in prayer and asking God. And this is what Prophet Habakkuk does. Prophet Habakkuk, the meaning of his word, his name is something to embrace, something to hold on. In a difficult situation like that of Habakkuk, in a war-like situation between Assyrians, Egyptians on one side, and the rising power, Babylonians on the other side, the prophet embraces God and questions God why, and God answers his prayer. And today we shall read from verse 12 to 17 from chapter 1, which is only questioning on the part of the prophet. Questioning God is something that God has allowed us because He's a loving God, He's a gracious God. We can always approach His throne of grace with a question. And the prophet says, "Are you not from of old, O Lord my God, my Holy One? You shall not die. O Lord, you have marked them for judgment, and you, O Rock, have established them for punishment. Your eyes are too pure to behold evil, and you cannot look on wrongdoing. Why do you look on the treacherous, and are silent when the wicked swallow those more righteous than they? You have made people like the fish of the sea, like a crawling things that have no ruler. The enemy brings all of them up with a hook. He drags them out with his net. He gathers them in his sign, so he rejoices and exults. Therefore he sacrifices to his net and makes offering to his sign. For by them his portion is lavish and his food is rich. Is he then to keep on emptying his net and destroying the nations without mercy?" The prophet Habakkuk, being a man of God, a man being filled with justice and righteousness, looking at the Babylonians, says these words. They are rising, their oppression, their suppression is great. And here he gives a metaphor of the fish in the sea, and Babylonians like a fisherman with his hooks drags them out of the sea. He catches the fish and put them into his net. It's a metaphor, the metaphor of catching fish and using them for himself. So also Chaldeans, the Babylonians, are rising in order to conquer their neighboring lands and exalt their power in the region. And they are willing to sacrifice to their own gods. And the prophet is humbly questioning God in this particular situation. So friends, let's come to God with all our questions, with all our bewilderment, with all our astonishment, with all our unfulfilled desires, with all our fears, God is ready to answer. He will dispel all our fears, and He will give answers, and He will give answers to find meaning to the dilemmas and questions that we are facing in life. We are not left alone, but there is a God who will answer through His prophets, through His word, through the pastors, through elderly people, through godly persons, through circumstances. God will answer. Jesus could say, "Open your eyes and see, open your ears and hear. Those who have ears, let them hear." Quite often we close our eyes and do not perceive. Quite often we close our ears and do not listen. God is telling us, ask, it shall be given to you. Seek, and you shall find. Knock, it shall be opened to you. Tomorrow we shall see how God answers the questions of the prophet when we read from chapter 2 of the book of Habakkuk. Have a blessed day, and God be with you. Amen.